Remember when Facebook's chief, Mark Zuckerberg, testified before Congress? This was back in April. It was all about that data breach scandal. Well, now, two senators have sent him a letter asking for more questions, and they want him back in front of Congress again. John Thune, Republican, South Dakota, wrote that letter, or at least he was one of the senators who wrote it, along with Bill Nelson, Democrat from Florida. Why do you want him to come back, Mr. Senator? Do you think that he perhaps he fudged the truth first time around?
Well, Stuart, we have additional questions based on recent reporting and things that weren't disclosed when we had the hearing a few weeks back. As you recall, he had testified in front of a joint committee here in the Senate, and then also followed up with a testimony in front of the House. But these new relationships, these partnerships, these contracts that Facebook had with mobile device manufacturers, both here in the United States and in Asia, raised new questions about whether or not user information might have been compromised, and those were things that didn't get covered and that he didn't talk about at the hearing when we had him here previously.
I sense that public sentiment is changing, becoming anti-Facebook, because people don't like their information being used for all these purposes. I also sense that Google is beginning to get a lot of bad press as well, a bad PR for a long time, for some time now, with this Huawei deal with China's Huawei, the phone maker. It's not just Facebook. Google's coming into this now.
Well, and they're the two biggest platforms, and most of their revenue comes from online advertising. And obviously, it appears at least Google now as well has certain contracts and partnerships and relationships with Huawei and other Chinese device manufacturers, and I think that's a concern. Obviously, we are very concerned about the prospect of China embedding their technology in our equipment, or them stealing our technology and embedding it in theirs. And so these relationships that that are coming to light now, I think, raise additional questions, and those questions, frankly, need to be answered, because we need to know, and users need to know, were there firewalls put in place? Was their information made available to servers in China, for example, or was it confined just to the devices that these manufacturers make? So we need to know that.
Senator, are you aware of any other senators or congressmen getting together and figuring out some legislation which would be aimed directly at Facebook and Google, which would restrict their business model? Are you aware of any such legislation in the works?
There are a couple of bills out there right now that that address that issue. Frankly, we are looking, Stuart, and having conversations about the best way to proceed to make sure that when people consent to something, to the use of their user agreement, they know in fact what they're consenting to. It has to be meaningful consent, and I think that was one of the consensus issues that came out of the last set of hearings, was that people check on or they click on the user agreement, it's this thick, nobody knows what's in it, and it's important that they know what they're giving up in exchange for this service. And so we're looking at what that might look like, and obviously consulting with a lot of folks in the stakeholder community, with members of Congress, and we want to move forward in a way that makes sense, that doesn't basically kill a business model that's been very successful, but also that puts some restraints around to ensure that user information isn't compromised.
Pressure's rising, I think. Senator John Thune, thanks for joining us, sir. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Stuart.
Yes,
You bet.
Sir. Thank you.